what's up guys? It's Matt from RC Overload. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a great week so far. I know I didn't. I had to work. Today I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I have done to the ECX Torment here. Over the past few weeks I've actually been doing some changes, some modifications to it to just kind of help improve what I've already got. Now, before we get into this, I gotta say that this truck is amazing, honestly. If you guys have seen some of the videos of the track and last weekend's bashing event, me just launching off a jump, I'll post a couple of clips right here for you while I'm talking. This thing can certainly take a beating, and it's actually quite incredible, to be honest. I still have not broken one thing on this truck. The only problem I keep running in, actually there's two problems I keep running into with this truck. And one is that the screws on the suspension parts keep coming loose and falling out. Discovered that the screws on this truck here are actually a coarse thread screws instead of a fine thread. And for those of you that don't know, the younger guys that aren't sure what that means is coarse thread versus fine thread. I don't know if I got one readily available, but if you were to look at the screw and look at the actual threads on the screw, coarse threads are actually wider. They're further apart. The screw part of the metal is farther apart than if you were to look at a fine thread screw, which there's a lot more threads in it and they're a lot closer and a lot smaller together. Coarse threaded screws, they just don't hold as well as fine thread when it comes to plastic applications. So that's why they keep backing out. Now I've replaced all the screws that keep coming out. I've gone through and I've replaced them with the fine threads, and I actually haven't had a single problem yet. So you guys may or may not run into that, but that's one of the problems I've run into. The other problem that I have run into on this truck is the body itself. It makes such a dragging effect, or as some of you guys might know, a parachuting effect. What that means is when it goes over a jump or it's going down the track straight and any kind of air comes in and underneath the body, it's going to take the body and pick it up, causing a parachuting effect, slowing it down, bringing the nose up, so forth, making you have no control over the car after it launches or going down a long straightaway. And again, you guys might be seeing here in some of the clips of what I'm talking about. So what I've done to the body here is actually I've created several different air ventilation holes in it, allowing the air that comes underneath the body to actually escape easier through it without creating that parachuting effect, or at least minimizing the amount of an effect that it has. The biggest problem that I had is, where do I want to create these holes? Where's the biggest areas that the air is hitting against the body, creating that problem? Well, I know from jumping it many times that the front end seems to be grabbing a lot of air and holding it back and causing it to flip over backwards. So I needed to do something up front here to allow the air to come through. But at the same time, I wanted the air that's coming through underneath in the center here, that's coming up through the body, to exit out the rear of it. So let me show you guys exactly what I've done. I'm going to come a little closer so you guys can see. Alright, so here's the body, okay? The front end is extremely wide. It's got a grabbing area right here, okay? The air comes in, grabs it, and blows it up. So what I've actually done is I've discovered that in the corners here on both sides of the body is the biggest areas for it to grab, because you have this lip here. The air goes into the corner and just kind of grabs it. So what I've done, if you guys can see, I've actually created some venting holes along the side. All I did was take an X-Acto knife, made a straight line across, and then made two lines down, and then took my pliers and bent the plastic up to create that venting fin effect. And you guys can see a little better here from the back side. Okay, so that should help at least with the front. I have not tested this. I just did this all last night, so we'll see. In the back, if you guys were to look, the ones that have their ECX Torments with this body, you'll actually notice that there's kind of like almost an outline cutout right in these sections of the truck. Sorry. So what I did is on the top and the bottom section is I cut them out. And that will allow the air to come out of the back end, as well as helping the electronics actually stay cool by allowing air to flow through. The other area that I did work on, whether or not this makes any kind of an effect, I don't know. I just think that it looks cool like this, so either way I did it. If you guys were to look behind the windshield here, I even cut that out. You guys can see my finger. Okay. Cut that out. If anything, it'll allow air to come through the sides and again help cool it off. Not like it needs much, because if you look at the underside, it's completely open, especially in the front. So there's a lot of opportunity for air to come up in here, hit the body, and pull the truck back like this and lose total control. So I'm hoping with this setup, when it launches off the ramp, it'll at least come back down and I can have a little bit of control in the air. Now the easiest way I discovered where these were, not so much just running the truck, is what I did is I actually took my fan. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it in the camera here. I took my giant fan, okay? Turned it on, and then what I did is I actually took the body and I mimicked right in front of the same way that the air is blowing through the fan. And I actually pretended to act like it was going off of a jump. And I did a swoop. And what was the first area that grabbed? Was the nose. You could actually see it flipping around like this with the fan hitting it. Went a little further and I noticed the back end started doing it. So that's how I kind of get a general idea as far as where do I need to make these holes, what is going to be the best areas for it. So use a fan, try it out, kind of helps. So, body modifications, did some screws changing around. The last thing that I did, because as I mentioned, nothing has broken on this truck, and it's actually kind of pissed me off a little, only because I want to upgrade. I want to throw some RPM parts at it. I want to make some changes to it. You know, I want to improve it, but in a sense, I kind of can't justify it when nothing is breaking. So, the only other thing I've noticed that's worn out on this truck was the plastic hubs for the wheels, okay? And what I've done is I've actually gotten the ECX aluminum ones, as you guys can see here in the picture, okay? And I've swapped them out instead of having the plastics. So it should actually give the wheel a little bit more grip, less likely to wear out, okay? So that's that. And oh, the last thing that I've done, as you guys know, I recently put in the Proline Powerstroke shocks in this. Awesome upgrade, love it. Only problem is the suspension is too stiff. This truck is way too light for those shocks. However, if you change the spring rate on them, it totally changes the way the truck handles, and it's so much better. What I'm talking about is that the Powerstroke shocks, they have a dual rate spring setup, okay? You have a smaller spring on the top, a little spacer or a holder, and then a bigger spring on the bottom. So you have two different spring rates for the suspension on it. What I've done, because I had an extra set of Pro-Spec springs, full solid, all the way through, same rate springs, I decided to swap those over to the Powerstrokes. So I have one spring on each shock. And actually, if anybody's curious, I'm using the grade yellow. I can't remember what grade that is. I will post it in the description box. But the suspension of the truck is so much smoother. Barely put any pressure. It's now got a heck of a lot smoother response to it. I'm running 30 weight oil in the front and 25 in the rear. And I'm tightened down the springs a little bit in the back and have practically no tension in the front. And it keeps the truck level. Definitely a better handling characteristics from what I can tell from the last session. But we're going to go through and test it all tomorrow. I'm going up to the track, and I'm going to make a video for you guys so that you can see all the changes in really a good effect, see how well it performs against what I've done in the past. So I'll show you guys the shocks here. As you can see, those are the Powerstroke shocks with the Pro-Spec springs on it. Yellow grade. It's all the way through. It's nice and smooth. Again, same for the back. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to see. Other than that, I really haven't done much to this truck. It's practically indestructible. Excuse me. Coffee. I am running the 3800 kV brushless motor setup from Castle Creations in this, and I am running it on a 2S LiPo. I believe I have a 19-tooth pinion gear on here, and I'm running the stock spur gear. So, for those of you guys who have been asking me what I'm running on this truck, there you go. Again, I'll post everything in the description box for you. So, that's pretty much it as far as the update. You know what, even the drive shafts aren't even close to being worn out in this, and I'm still running the stock plastic drive shafts. And I haven't been taking this truck easy at all. So this goes to show you that for trucks that are under $200, just like the ECX Torment right here, they can be great trucks, if not better than some of those $400 trucks that you buy. So first cost-effective truck, throwing a bigger motor into it, and a few little minor modifications. I think this truck overall is actually excellent for anybody. Whether you just want a basher or just a simple bring it down to the track like I do occasionally and just have some fun on a track, I think this truck is perfect for that. So, hopefully things will start breaking and I can justify getting some replacement parts and really start improving this truck. Otherwise, we'll just have to see. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I think that's pretty much it. I've covered everything that I've done. So, if you guys have any questions on this truck or you want to know something more, feel free to comment in the description box below, and I will try to respond as best as I can. I'm usually very busy during the week with my main job. Raising my kid at night, you know, coming home, family stuff and all that. So I don't always get around to it, but on the weekends, more or less, I try to focus on responding to comments, guys. So I do apologize if I don't get to it right away. So, again, any questions, feel free to ask. If you have a suggestion for something that you'd like to see done to the ECX Torment, let me know. I'll look into it and see if it's something that I'd like to do to this. As I'm always open up for suggestions and whatnot. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. Stick around because I've got another update video coming later today on the Axial Yeti build from CBE RC Fab. I'm going to show you guys how to install the body and show you what tires that you can and cannot use into it. Alright, stick around, guys. I'll see you later.